Well, I was when I was born, my parents were living in Atlanta. So my first years of life were in Atlanta, Georgia. We returned here to Houston, where my parents are from. My father is a lawyer. He was a labor lawyer, worked for the federal government for many years, retired from the federal government. Uh, so I had him as a role model, as a lawyer. Didn't know that I wanted to be a lawyer. I thought that I wanted to run a bank. So my ambition was to get an MBA and go into the business world. Well, I had an incident that occurred where I had a unfortunate encounter with an off-duty HPD police officer when I was an undergrad at the University of Houston, which made me want to join law enforcement because I wanted to make sure it didn't happen to anyone else. Basically, he pulled me over in his personal vehicle because I passed him on the roadway, put his hand on his gun, and berated me. And so after that experience, I wanted to defend people. I wanted to make a difference. So I decided to go to law school. Had an internship at the Harris County District Attorney's Office, and that's when I decided this is what I wanted to do with my life.
Thank you. So that incident kind of, do you know why that happened?
Because I was black. I mean, it's just clear as day. I mean, you would have to be there to, I'm not race conscious, but if you know what he said to me and how he acted towards me and called me a boy, and he was completely out of line stopping me in his personal vehicle. But I was young, I was black. Well, community safety looks the same all the time. Our duty is to make sure that the law is enforced evenly. So that means if the facts fit the crime, then there will be a prosecution. And so the fact that the community is more diverse hasn't changed how we operate our office. But I can tell you that the people that work in my office reflect the diversity in the community. And so what that may mean for prosecution is that you have someone handling a case who can identify with the defender because they have the same background. And so I could see how that may have changed with the office, but in terms of our policy, they're the exact same. We are a evidence-driven office, and we make evidence-based decisions. Well, what we've seen is that the greatest increase in violent crime has occurred in domestic violence. So this is people who know each other. Your ability to influence that is limited because you can't go inside people's households. But we have adjusted our policies. Like right now, if a victim wants to not prosecute, files an affidavit of non-prosecution, we have a process where they have to receive counseling before we will actually dismiss the case on their request. And so what it looks like is that we're being more aggressive in terms of our prosecutions, and also making sure that we use our non-governmental agencies like DIA and the Fort Bend County Women's Center and AVDA to help victims of domestic violence. So part of it is raising awareness, but also making sure that justice is served in the courtroom. We've always had diversion programs. We have for juveniles, for example, it's standard procedure provided by the Family Code, which is an informal probation. For offenders who are deserving of second chances, who meet the requirements of the program, they're afforded what you would call a diversion, but we would call it informal probation. We offer the same to young adults. So people who qualify and meet the requirements of these various programs are afforded, opportunity to complete a pretrial intervention program. Why this is prudent and smart on crime is we extend this opportunity to complete the pretrial intervention. If they're unsuccessful, the prosecution just starts over as if it never occurred. So there's zero risk for the community in terms of the pretrial intervention because the person remains under supervision. And if they don't complete the conditions as required, then we just proceed with the prosecution. We don't make race-based decisions in prosecution. That's not something that we consider when we're prosecuting a case, what we do consider is the evidence that's presented. That evidence is passed on either to a grand jury, to a petty jury for consideration. But every decision we make is race neutral. It would be inappropriate for us to consider race in any prosecution.